aggressive options. I feel like, in effect, we haven't been seeing the GP busting that we saw 1 year ago, when people would take Ignite and would be able to really get going. So we can see what the summoner choice is, but SANDBOX overall, they've played with fire. And I think they do have winning lanes that can run over Genji, so you can almost active in the lanes. You start a snowball in a Sona lane. We saw that against KT. Sometimes a Sona lane just straight up wins.
And you can also then just have the cannon barrage on the bottom side of the map. We can set up teleports. We can really create.
Atlas, yep.
Yeah. Better bot wins has been something that we've thrown around so far on this current patch, but certainly some interesting compositions to start off week 4. Let's see how it goes. Genji fans always so incredibly loud, Papa Smithy, as we have a look at the skybox. It is still daytime here on Summoner's Rift. We haven't set up the nighttime just yet.
Sorry, I'm bird watching, Atlas.
He should have gone pigeon mode as a pitcher. Dang it. Opportunity missed.
On Fleek rocking his Ambition skin.
Yep.
It's so hard to explain that reference because it sounds so weird out of context.
It's such a weird,
Korean
weird
fans,
meme as well.
Korean fans decided that Ambition looked a lot like an axe murderer, and given there's a lot of, axes going on here and blades, this is his skin.
He's a lawnmower.
Yeah.
It's the lawnmower.
I mean, lawnmowers and axe murder is pretty similar.
I mean, I guess you could do some murdering with the lawnmower.
I haven't seen those YouTube clips.
I think it's in one of those like horror comedy movies, like Scary Movie or something like that. I think there's a lawnmower death. I'm not entirely sure.
I've had a couple of horror comedy moments seeing these summoner airy Sonas trying to get the same value and then lose lane and fall away. So I'm happy that Klepto is stabilizing. I understand the high roll of summoner airy because in a scrim you get away with it and then you proc it a million times, but it really does remove 2v2 value from a laning phase that can always be really hard. So I think going Klepto is the kind of safe way to approach. Joker actually started W. You don't see that often on the Lux, but enough for them. Start the pushing. We all know how this lane phase goes, so no need to explain the Frostmancy and life CSing on Tahm Kench any longer.
Well, you saw Ruler just get some double value there with his Spell Thieves, so he's off to a decent start on the quest. We've had some very long quests so far, and some very short ones. I believe, what was our best? Was it about 7 minutes? Yeah.
It depends how greedy you want to be. I believe in that one, Viper straight back the moment he had 450 gold and got the upgrade on Spell Thieves to the Frostfang and just went for full CS mode. Some people prefer to wait till tier gold, which obviously extends your laning phase and delays the proc. A couple of different options there. Very interesting to see how Ruler will approach it. While Vladimir gets into that great spot against GP. In the early lanes, it's no longer Kleptomancy. There's those reinforced procs of the QV gangplank. So for now, going to be very stable on the top side.
Yeah, of course, has taken grasp. So currently going to be A-OK, but see whether the Vladimir can get the wave into a decent position. You can see vision available for both of our top laners. No real inroads. Checking in on the junglers, it's just top side starts for both teams. They're going to meet towards this bottom side. No surprise if you've been watching the Genji side of the jungle that Peanut does want to end up towards the bottom side to see whether he can find any options against Ghost and Joker. It's a difficult gank though.
Oh, it's a pretty nothing-doing game when it comes to the junglers. Rek'Sai has the most ability to impact lanes, but it has to be a LeBlanc chains, otherwise nothing in the lanes to back up. Yeah. Tahm Kench can get 3 autos on double range, and Vladimir, enough said. So only mid lane really has potential inroads. So this could be a longer Atlas. I think you can get comfortable. You can start thinking about your teamfight tactics builds for later today. What you playing with these days after the last patch?
It's sort of been weird because the last patch got everyone playing gunslingers again, and I've found that everyone wants to build assassins. So I've just gone back to playing Wild, even though it's been nerfed and just still winning on it.
I've been classical as well. I've been reliving SKT 2015 and running Lulu Lucian wherever possible.
Oh, God.
SKT 2015 fans love the Lulu Lucian.
Go on the Juggolution.
Hey, Lucian's latest buff, that boy loves to just skate around the
I feel like it's a bit of a shout out to our mate Rusty back in Australia, because he really does enjoy the AP Lucian style as well. So Luden's Echo, he's no stranger to that build on current League of Legends Lucian.
I love watching streams. Everyone's playing with gunslingers because they were buffed, and every time you see a Lucian pop off, people are spamming Uzi Pog, which is so funny.
Yeah.
I never really understood those references in the other auto chess games because I didn't follow the scenes, but following the scene there is rewarding. Speaking of following scenes, though, Peanut's lying in wait.
He was lying in wait for a very long time, though, and Dove finds him first. The rotation from Kuzan a little bit too slow. They managed to get the Spire, and that's just a free flash onto Peanut.
Trying to patrol there, but
maybe he was thinking about his teamfight tactics build as well.
Exactly. So everyone was lying in wait, but that usually means that someone is out of position. Turret plates versus Sona Tahm Kench. They saw the enemy jungler, so no need to respect anything for Ghost and Joker, who do have that jungle disadvantage in terms of early pressure. So seeing Peanut flash, basically you walk up and cash in the gold. That's been reserved for you.
Ruler now has himself a red pot, so we'll see whether he can make any use of that one. Joker's going home, or was thinking about it, as Ghost goes down to about half health. And every time one of these autos and the Qs connect from Ruler, it's more money going over to the Sona.
The recent LCK trend against Sona lanes has been very early executioners calling on first back. Don't get that many points in the heal too much later in the laning phase, so those early heals get cut down into basically meaningless numbers. And then you're just a melee Tahm Kench walking up, facing grievous wounds, and not a lot of healing behind you. So actually is a lot of validity to it. I've liked that adaptation. I believe the first we saw was Deft, going to the very early first by grievous wounds.
That was on his Sivir as well, so was able to block a lot of the Qs coming out to deny quest completion, as well as the extra gold that you get from that Spell Thief. So a bit of double duty coming out from Deft's decisions there against the Sona. Backing on a ward on the side of Gen G, but the minion wave is going to distract Ghost for long enough. That knows exactly where the bottom lane is. They'll be teleporting back in a moment's time.
And then you just wonder if SANDBOX are opting into Skarner jungle, into scaling. Maybe they do subscribe to what you were putting forward of, let's just out-teamfight a Sona comp, which I think is just a kind of a bridge too far, too risky of a decision. But with the champions they have, Vladimir, Azir, both premier team fighters, like you mentioned, Zaya's right up there and has the ability to disengage. The one thing you can say about Gen G is while they have good synergy with the Sona empowered auto attacks, you think of auto attackers like Camille being god tier, Aurelia being god tier with Sona. GP and Rek'Sai definitely do their share of auto attacking. Their front line is going to be very brittle in team fights. So that's the sort of team fight where Dove can just dive in, Azir Sec, split up a team fight. There's no Taric ult that's going to overlap on both sides. And the lack of front line might just lead to pretty fast picks. And then from there, you still have more threat from people like Vladimir, etc. So I can understand the logic. I just think on paper, the idea sounds much more to the riskier side than I necessarily would index it.
Yeah, I'm in this weird state of mind where I'm like looking at a Sona comp thinking that it's going to spike in the mid game, which is just a really strange thing to try and wrap my head around given what you've just indicated, right? Like the teamfight cohesion isn't necessarily something you want to talk about, but the teamfight setup and the control around this mid-game to try and at least get everyone to the right place at the right time is certainly going to be there for Gen G. So now that Cuvée has hit that level 6, now it has level 7, so Cannon Barrage is online. Starting the snowball rolling for Gen G is certainly possible at this stage. So bridging this Sona into a terrifying position is going to be available, but if SANDBOX just don't let that happen, I actually think that you're right when you're talking about their teamfight composition looking very strong as we scale further forward.
Well, it seems like the scaling is inevitable with how slow and passive the first 8 minutes have been. We're not getting the aggressive League of Legends we might want from some of these teams. Gen G, we weren't expecting that, of course. On Big walks up with lane presence, going to be able to contest. It's red, steals it away. Rek'Sai missing out on buffs, and Peanut losing Flash did remove kind of the only serrated Dirk of the early game, the only aggressive tool that really was drafted across 10 champions. And that has meant that scaling was kind of the modus operandi.
Well, now Summit going aggressive onto Cuvée here is going to get a fair bit of damage back with the Hemo Plague.
It begins.
Yeah, this is where the matchup does turn around. Summit now with his 20% extra CDR. He's going to have a heck of a lot given his runes. As you know, we'll be scaling up past that 40% very, very soon. And that means that this lane is certainly something that is well within his grasp. Sheen, augmented by a Hex Drinker, is going to come in for Cuvee, but I don't know whether that's going to be enough to save him from the onslaught of the Hemomancer.
It's definitely a stabilizer, but anything that delays 20% CDI Trinity Force procs is happy news from the Vladimir's perspective. You have to wrestle with the options you have. With the priority bot side, it's been delayed. Onfleek's been on farming duty till 6. We will finally get the first Drake of the game. Drake stacking against Sona Tom catching the bot side. Very standard approach, and you'll take an Ocean for laning phase into an Infernal. That actually suits SANDBOX just fine.
Yeah, it's pretty good, especially with Ghost and Joker both wanting to spam spells here and try and shove in and put pressure on Ruler and Life. Ruler still just wants them to hang around in the lane so he can throw Qs at them and try and complete this quest at a reasonable pace.
So as a complete 180 away from what we're seeing on the Rift, kind of a frigid, slow start. Yeah. It has been super hot in Korea recently.
Oh, yes.
Now, we're Aussies. We're used to kind of a hot summer, but how are you battling the summer, Atlas? How are you doing it?
Well, I recently cleaned my air conditioner.
Ooh.
And had it on for the first time.
Is that a thing you just know how to do, or is that like, do you need a YouTube tutorial to clean an air conditioner?
Cherry, my girlfriend, is actually, she knows all about it. She sorted it all out. She's worried about her cat's...
DOQ partner, then, is the solution.
Yes, yes. That was... If it was me, I would have just turned it on. I didn't even know that there was a thing that you could do at home without getting someone to come do it for you. So I'm useless. But we have that one on. So yeah, it's starting to get warm, Papa Smithy. And in my little office room with my PC, my computer gets a lot of work done when it comes to heating the house.
Well, you seem very in tune with weather now. I'm going to need you to tell me when this game's getting a bit warm, when I should really be ready for that fire. I'm going to allow you to be the weatherman of this broadcast.
Well, it's going to get a whole lot hotter in 3.5 minutes, Bob Smithy.
All right.
That's the forecast that I'm going to put down for you.
The forecast for 1435 is looking pretty good.
Yep. Forecast for 1435 is looking real good.
I'll take your word for it.
And there's that big scaly bird that's coming into the dragon pit, Bob Smithy. That's where I want you to... direct your gaze, top left. That could be a pretty good omen. But we'll see.
Do you think Riot regrets that they didn't make it so that every item you purchase impacts what your model looks like? You know, kind of the MOBA thing of like, look how badass I am, I've got great loot.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't Nastro's Azir look in some way more threatening?
Like each Sand Soldier should have like a gold sword instead.
Sure.
That would actually be really cool.
I literally have never thought of this idea till now.
Well, actually, I thought about it a long time ago. There was an amazing Misfortune fan art that came out, and she had like a Banshee's Veil back when Banshee's Veil was an item you could build on an AD carry, not now. But she had like hanging from her belt and stuff like this. It was super lifelike and really cool. This is not so lifelike, but it's pretty cool that Kuzan almost walks into Onfleek, but is going to keep himself alive.
Onfleek was kind of like one of those British soldiers that stands outside Buckingham Palace. I'm surprised he did not move.
Yeah, he didn't do anything.
With LeBlanc just showing herself double distorting, no movement at all from the Skarner.
Also doesn't have boots. If he had have just popped out and hit her with the Impale, then she would have been dead. Peanut going to tunnel his way away as Impale is still available.
Yep.
Onfleek, your R button's there, mate. We can press it. But I guess
saving it for late game.
Yeah, I guess did the calculations in his mind for how long he'd be able to impale his target and how long the distortion was able to snap her back. So I guess it just wasn't the right time.
Well, I'm waiting to see how correct your meteorological report is on the 14 minutes 30 summer action.
Phenomenal use of meteorological.
I mean,
I didn't even manage to say it correctly.
I feel like at this point now that I've cast my world final, my new career goal is to use every word in the English language on this broadcast at some point.
You know,
without
meteorology actually triggers me a lot, Papa Smithy, because I actually used to work as a metrologist, which is metrology is measurement and meteorology is weather. And so I was a metrologist for a long time, and so meteorology as a word has just always been really, really strange. I'm like, I was one of wait, I'm not one of them. I'm not a weatherman. Okay, never mind. It's very weird. Anyway, it's an aside.
What do you call someone that researches meteors?
Meteos?
Yeah, the player. Someone who's like really into his trends.
A meteosorologist.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. What if someone researches meteors? What do you call them?
Crazy.
Meteorologist?
Whoa!
I don't know.
Can you do that again? What is your tongue doing when you say that?
I don't know, but I think it's like it's Scooby-Dooing.
You should have said. You definitely should. I don't know.
I don't know. Missed opportunities. We should have rehearsed this before.
We definitely should have. He didn't read the script.
It's so weird.
LS took it with him.
We're having conversations like it's a pause, and it kind of feels like it's a pause. And it's a sandbox game, and it's a Gen G game where they have actually been playing a little bit more proactively, but they're not going to proactively stop Shelly from going down. That's an easy one for the Skarner. Slowly but surely, Sandbox are getting themselves to some decent item timings. Quest completion coming in for both
Nothing
of our
has happened this
Frostfangs.
game. Stop pretending things have happened.
No, the quest was completed before 25 minutes.
It's conspicuous
Amazing.
how little has happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe everyone's trying to work on their TFT composition.
I'm not trolling, but I feel like there's going to be teams that tank in the next month. And I've told you, I've said this on podcasts before, where actually it's going to be, well, I mean, I get that reference, but literally there'll be teams that will be negatively impacted by Teamfight Tactics release.
Yeah, oh no.
Because someone will play it too much and not think about League enough.
Yep.
And it will be one of those things you don't even know. Like, it won't even be a player, because players are pretty closely watched. It'll be some analyst that spent too much time playing Teamfight Tactics instead.
You just have a look at your Fnatic and G2 win rates, guys.
By the way, you're one of those crappy weathermen. Nothing happened.
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
It's 14:30 was 40 seconds ago.
The quotient of heat on the map is higher.
It's
because
true.
This fiery Drake guy, there's an abyssal voyage.
Will
GG
someone hit each other?
Behind the pit to watch the Drake go down.
So you know how in the past, like, how bloody the game was, how many kills came in, and then we had to make the LCK slider of, well, a lot of people almost died.
Yeah.
What's the next one? If anyone actually lands a spell on someone else?
I guess, I mean, the quotient has to be, like, whether we were forced to talk about the game or not.
That's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't have to yet. Don't worry. We're out of the woods. We're doing absolutely fine. As Cube's lost half the health of his turret.
Oh.
And now back to other news. We love to keep from crying.
This game is the equivalent if we were on the Weather Channel and there was no weather.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, guys, we're kind of the Weather Channel.
Oh, if
we don't have anything else.
If we're referring to this as like a game of Teamfight Tactics, this is where everyone's going nobles. So no one's doing anything.
Well, everyone's outside.
We're waiting for our Kales.
I actually think everyone's re-rolling for, like, level 3 Anivias till we actually get the first battle.
Or maybe we're all just ecoing. No one actually has any champions yet.
Eco versus eco is very non-interactive.
Yeah, super non-interactive. Well, Kuzan's almost going to make this minion wave crash into the turret, as Shelly is literally going to crash into the turret.
Yeah, something happened. The first objective of the game that wasn't a Drake at 16 minutes.
SANDBOX on perfect game pace.
And no one's going... It's true.
They literally are.
I feel it's quite an imperfect game, but you are correct.
I know.
Oh,
he's looking to help it out as Cube does have oranges. He's looking for it to be K, but it is not K just yet as the Hemo Plague will lock down first blood. On Fleek, though, he's going to go down in response, and now Summit is in between two turrets. He's in a rough position. Peanut's going to go underground. Yep, the pull comes in, but that's a double kill going over to Kuzan.
Gen G have done it. They've done this for years. Lulled them into a false sense of security. They take their first kill opportunity to go the way of Gen G. Now, Dove's going to do a boatload of damage to mid lane outer. He won't quite kill it, but it's basically standing gold. Can SANDBOX use what they have now? A lot of pressure around topside, almost 2 broken turrets to actually get objectives from this? Or is this just going to be the highlight of the game?
Well, I mean, Cube survived for a lot longer than I was expecting. He waited for the Impaled, then ate his oranges. Always the best time for Citrus Fruit, by the way, guys, if you were wondering about that one. And then Summit just had nowhere that he could possibly go. I thought maybe he'd be able to get some damage there onto Peanut, but Peanut actually, I believe, went for the ultimate there. It got popped because Summit died.
Honestly, though, if you just clip that, it does feel like a plot twist because at 17 minutes he was caught with half health in between inner and inhibitor turrets, which definitely is very tone-deaf to the rest of the things that happen. So an unearned plot twist. If we were reviewing this as a book, that just doesn't fit with the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused.
Ruler rolls out. Let's look at the gold total. It's about 5,600. So I wasn't actually able to fully catch the total gold that was put together on the Xayah and Lux's side. Well, actually, they're ahead in gold. So Sona and Tom are ahead in gold right now. So they're just straight up winning lane in this non-interactive phase. Our only query is team fighting tools for SANDBOX might be able to overcome even what we've seen of Sona. So will it be the Sona reputation or the Sona reality? Given that with as slow as this game is, we're going to have to see at least one big fight.
I like the learnings that we're going to get from the mid lane as well, because Kuzan's now 2-0. This is going to be on him to channel his aggressive challenger self from last season, see whether he can dictate some pace on this map, because it's likely that he's going to be able to utilize these next few items to really throw his weight around. At the moment, weight's being thrown towards the bottom side by SANDBOX, but it looks like it's just a Scuttle Crab that's going to go down.
And I guess this is something that Ghost opted into, because we should know we were speculating about the first by Executioner's calling, then we were talking about meteorology. There never was one, so that's basically saying I'm going to build my core items and be team fight ready, and you're going to farm up on Sona, and I'm not interacting with you, which seems ultra bold, but that is the decision that was rendered by SANDBOX so far this game. So suddenly, it's kind of going to be mid-game team fight execution or bust for both teams.
Well, Ruler is actually able to use that Song of Celerity very nicely to dodge out of the way of the live binding. Meant that OnFleek wasn't able to get anything done bottom side of the map, and now Gen G are just floating about trying to get some work done. Speaking of work done, there is a Pirate. And he's on the wrong side of the map. Maybe it's Dove to be going down here. The chains do land very nicely. Barrel doesn't connect, but gets a flash. You'll take that any day of the week.
It seems like Gen G are loading up to stop the perfect objective score that SANDBOX has going on. Cuvée walking down. It's a very long lane in top, so you push out one wave, and it takes a while for the enemy to answer. That's why Cuvée was on a roam, got a bonus flash. Not often you see a GP roam gank work in the mid lane. Setting up around blue, and that's already a lot of interactive damage.
Exactly. Ghost got game played really hard just there as Joker goes down to about half health. They get a heal out of the Lux as Kuzan down to about half HP. But Summit is now here. The team fight is at the ready as SANDBOX have 5 members around this Drake. They do start it off.
Cuvé's on a flank. No scouting wards in front of the river from SANDBOX, so they're actually going to scout it now. That means that Gen G in position. This could be the big moment. Atlas been waiting a long time for this.
As the Singularity pops, Cuvé's position is known. Predator is now available on Fleet, looking for his inroad, trying to find his option. Cuvée very safe, being able to eat oranges. You can see Gen G are just healing themselves back up. The Archangels is there for Ruler. He does have that crescendo as someone flashes forward. Gets the huge Emo playing it. The Seraph, it came in at the right time. Ruler survives, but Peanut isn't going to be so lucky. Life isn't going to be so lucky, and Kuzan has some chains, but they lose the Drake. It's double Infernal now. Cuvée has full health. He couldn't do anything.
Cuvée was on the flank the entire time, but it just seemed disconnected by the fact that SANDBOX just flashed on the front line. Of course Sona's going to be out of the fight to one rotation. She doesn't die instantly, but it doesn't matter. SANDBOX take it, and guess what? Through the lull state, it's 21 minutes. They're about to crash through and put their flag on Baron.
Yep, they're going for it. Ruler is going to teleport to this ward that's on the Gromp. Joker comes in, full information available as Ruler does have his crescendo, doesn't have flash, but does have a lot of CC in an AoE available to him. No cannon barrage, remember, as Cuvée just dives into this Baron pit. They're going for it. Ruler does land it onto 3 members. There's the Mimic Distortion as the Baron goes down. It's Dove that picks it up. Super lucky there. Poor SANDBOX's flash is now coming in. Another big pickup, double kill for Kuzan. Now can he get over this wall? The chains don't land, but the Void Rush is fantastic. And now OnFleek is trying to keep the last remaining Baron available here for SANDBOX. Flash forward, no joy, as Gen G have to let one Baron go through.
A lot of cleanup here for Gen G. The death time is short enough, and with things to get there, they're able to answer a lot of the kills. Already the Baron buff power play gold is going to be a little bit on the lower end unless SANDBOX can set it up. We're going to go all the way back to the team fight where you just see a difference between top laners. Summit flashes in with his ultimate, and he may not be 6-item Vladimir yet, but it's enough to ravage the backline, and Cuvée was trying to be cute with barrel positions. They were getting just autoed every time they went down, so it's very strange. Wasn't a frontliner, wasn't a diver. We come over to the team fight, and the fact that 3 members were here, the poke goes down, the Baron is on, it ends up being Azir of all people to secure it.
Yeah, it was very, very close to that being a 50-50 loss, just due to the fact that OnFleek didn't land with a smite to secure that one. Void Rush all too good at taking down non-feather-stormed Xayahs.
And it's just a straight-up win from Gen G outside of the Infernal Drake going down, because you look at the top right, it's 1450 gold negative already, so Gen G picked up more gold than SANDBOX, even including something like the Baron buff and the 1500 gold it provides, and they can't play side lanes unless OnFleek is here. Like, OnFleek is only here to help pushing down an outer turret, because he's the only Baron buff, and Baron buff's power is in the 3 lanes, very rarely in the 1.
Yeah, and now it means that he's not going to be lying in wait elsewhere as well. So very telegraph plays coming out from SANDBOX. However, they do get the man advantage bottom side and take the freestanding gold. In a very, very low on the top side of the map, as SANDBOX will almost get back to an even Baron power play mark, but this is probably our worst of the season thus far. Okay, let's find a decent barrel there onto Joker, and no life binding is going to find too much, as Peanut wants to take his rev up. Life over the wall, just gets his tongue through. But Final Spark doesn't do anything. I think Kuzan's got a bench as well. We're okay.
I think he was spotting with the R there. Obviously, the damage is not going to be massive at level 10, right? So
it's often used just as a vision tool, right?
Yep. One of the big power points of Lux. She has non-committal brush check as a squishy enchanter that usually gets assassinated. Rolling through the mid lane, trying to use their one Baron buff.
Now the Hemo Plague immediately goes down, but Summit's not going to find any inroads on this one. Some more W's can get pressed, and then Ruler's going to be absolutely fine. He's got a Lich Bane, he's got his Seraphs, as we mentioned in the previous fight. SANDBOX, this siege is going to be more difficult than you'd anticipate.
With the Sun Turret, though, they can keep up the jig for longer. This next minion wave is the last one with Barons. They have to take the inner with this. See if Gen G can poke him away.
Kuzan diving forward with the distortion, does have that sweeper, so knows there's no vision here as Summit goes down very low with a little bit of poke. Decent shield coming out there as SANDBOX are now just going to give up. And it is 1,300 disadvantage on the Baron power play.
Yeah, definitely not one to speak of. SANDBOX basically took the Baron off the map but didn't achieve anything else. Guve's still only tickling. Look, he doesn't really have any damage behind him with the Hex Drinker, kind of slowing things down. But like you say, the Sona core is well and truly done, and then suddenly we're going to get the amps on these core items that allow her to be just so obnoxious the game goes on. We'll see if it's Banshee next, or maybe a visit to Deathcap and things like that coming in the future. All that is clear is that Gen G are kind of sticking their spot in this game. They still have this Sona, and one wrong face check, let me tell you, LeBlanc and Sona blow people up real fast.
Oh yeah. These are two definite gameplay champions coming from the bottom side of the map and the mid lane. I find it really strange that Ghost didn't go for the executions. I know you were talking about getting item timings, things like that, but now he's gone for a Hex Drinker. Still doesn't have it, as he already has one utility item. If that chain had landed, I have a feeling Dove may have just died there.
Kuzan has cleaned up really well this game. It hasn't been a roaming LeBlanc game where he got his 4 kills. This has been just from lapping up team fights and around that Baron earlier. Look, Kuzan back over the wall again.
Yep, lands another chain, and that should mean that Gen G will have position on this Infernal Drake. It's the third one of the game, as that barrel is also fantastic. Remember, we're sitting on Crescendo and Cannon Barrage. The AoE hasn't been expended on Gen G's side, and they're corralling once again. In goes Kuzan with the Mimic Distortion. Joker gets softened, still has that W available as another Hemo Plague now launches its way in, but he can't do it in time. The CC bar's too good. The Cannon Barrage on top of the Crescendo just eliminates the Hemomancer, and now Gen G will be able to take their Infernal.
I think Gen G really have taken the title deed for the LoL stake. SANDBOX looked all out of whack. Summit dived in with Hemo Plague. Joker was still auto-it. Oh, Lux, come on.
Wow.
Peanut didn't have Smite up, and unfortunately missed out on that one. You can see 0.1 seconds away just as we're speaking.
Ruler should have queued. It does more damage than the...
I can hear the Korean casters losing their mind over that one. Yeah. Super lazy from Gen G. They thought they were done, but level 11 Lux snipes it away. And now it's triple Infernal, and it's one that SANDBOX had no business taking.
And remember, we had our first, in a long time, triple Infernal loss in week number 3.
I don't want to talk about that game. I want to talk about this fight for a moment before we go back to LoL states. Because watch what's happening. Ghost is trying to lifesteal off blue buff as Summit engages. That's already not SANDBOX. They've been one of our best shot-calling teams.
Yeah.
And being in complete control. So he just gets blown up by the perma-CC and through the ultimate from the Sona, but then here we watch the replay. The Observer is confirming what I mentioned. Smite wasn't available here, and yet they just put no thought into it. It hit 153 health. Like, yeah. It's just lazy, and the Lux... Oh,
okay!
Joker's feeling pretty good. On the picture-in-picture, they're on Baron already, SANDBOX. Are they just going to steal this one under the nose?
Yeah, they might be able to. I mean, Peanut is here, so they are going to peel away. Not going to go for the 50-50, not going to risk it one more time. Summit doesn't get hit by the chains, and therefore he's not going to get chunked out of this fight, but on fleek, he's booking it. He's going so damn fast on this Skarner. The Impale is in, but Joker is going to get focused out on the back line. He's going to be the first to go down as Peanut goes golden, and Ruler is just keeping everyone alive for so long. Kuzan once again able to dive back into the fight as Peanut walks down the kill on the delivered Azir over the wall. The team fights are so good from Gen G. They can't seem to take a Drake, but they can just kill your entire team. Summit eventually goes down. He takes Peanut with him. as OnFleek finds himself friendless one more time. And if that doesn't fit in with the Skarner lore, I don't know what does, Papa Smithy.
Gen.G team fighting so smartly with this Sona. It's best illustrated in a replay, but they never made it about the 5v5 that we imagined, where Azir splits the team, Emo playing on 5. No, it was multiple skirmishes from multiple directions, where by the end, Peanut buying time with his stasis allowed Sona to get the first kill, and then the sustain war can only be won by Sona.
Oh no.
Oh, Joker. No. Can he do it a second time?
It's available. They don't have vision. They don't have vision, and it's going to... Whew. Shaking in me boots, Papa Smithy.
If Joker stole that one, we throw the headsets off.
Yeah,
call it.
Yeah.
Now watch how this fight happens. The all-in happens onto OnFleek on the one side. Like you say, the Turbo Skarner, the most decisive thing we've seen all game. Super fast. Righteous Glory popped there. But look what happens after that. Kuzan can get out. On the back end, Brawler and the rest can assassinate Joker. And then the moment Peanut comes out of stasis, sustain. Tahm Kench devour. So many tools. This sort of an extended fight where they never rip the 5-member Sona apart, suddenly the AoE heals and the AoE enchanting that the Q provides is always going to overwhelm. So those are the fights SANDBOX categorically can't take.
And also Cuvée surviving here was absolutely ridiculous. Thank you very much, Sona, for the Ws.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool hat.
That
She's
is.
got multiple swords that are red, look like they're on fire, a really cool stick, another stick that's giving her money, some great shoes, and a swell hat. This is a swag Sona right now.
And this is a Sona that SANDBOX gave up in multiple ways, had multiple rounds to ban it. Could have banned it first round, could have banned it second round, could have built Executioner's Calling. They literally, we always use the adage of, oh, they might have left too much rope and hanged themselves. Literally happened in this game if they lose this Sona. And like we mentioned, every fan can see it and say, how was it left open? And only SANDBOX have the answer. If we saw it, their coach would have seen it too.
Yep, and now Life has the one item that he needed as well. The QSS comes in. Now he can just gobble everyone up if they get consumed by the Impale.
And yet, triple Infernal. Correct synergy between Azir and Vlad. There's still one-shot potential out there. So, even with all this discussion...
You need the Vlad alive.
You do. This is not the time, it turns out.
Yeah.
And this is definitely a categorically better Baron buff. We're 4,000 to the good.
Exactly. I mean, they had a great Baron power play against the Baron. Imagine what they can do with the Baron. As Kuzan just spotting this rotation over from SANDBOX, but Cuvé's got his barrels in line. Just been so comfortable on the GP. Feels like a real power pick here for Gen.G. More barrels come in, more very slow members of SANDBOX, and if Skarner doesn't like one thing, it's being slow.
Look, Cuvée is definitely the furthest away from an MVP this game in that he's done basically nothing except put down ults and not die. But that's all he's had to do.
Yeah.
He was another person who was trying to stabilize. And he was part of that stabilization and gets to affect the map without committing. So hard to argue with the pick, like you say. Ruler walks up. Now they can just try engaging here, but Tahm Kench with QSS next to him, nothing doing.
Exactly. The Devour will stop any Impales from being an issue, so Ruler is safe to do that. And Song of Celerity gets him out of the way. I thought he was going to go for some harass with that auto attack, but he takes half the health bar of the turret, instead of deciding to take half the health bar of Ghost or of Joker. I can understand that decision.
All right. SANDBOX gets one go where Skarner presses his go fast button and Vladimir Azir do the rest. If they don't take it, they just lose anyway. But with 3 Infernals, the wombo potential is always there. So we can't even pencil in the W for Gen.G just yet.
Yeah. Certainly, I mean, I don't know, Triple Infernal feels like a bit of a death nail now. Is it, if SANDBOX lose this game, is this, how many Triple Infernals have we had this season? It's almost like Triple Infernal will have a losing win rate.
I think it will be 0-2, Atlas. I don't remember a victory with Triple Infernal as mid lane.
Really, really strange. Ghost is going to get taken down extremely low. That Ignite will not kill him as OnFleek is looking for more life. I don't know whether he had to use... No, didn't need to use the QSS because that Impale wasn't actually thrown out. OnFleek was just trying to bait something.
He's just kind of worthless at the moment. Without so much disarray, without Vladimir and Azir swooping in, it's so easy for Tahm Kench to answer everything that Skarner's trying to do. So he's basically nothing. He doesn't even have... Like, he's actually feeling bad because his Shurelias is useful, but his Righteous Glory is not, right?
And, like, I just find this so strange. Like, at the beginning of spring, if we saw this composition that SANDBOX has put together, and we say, all right, we'll give them you know, at 30 minutes, basically even gold, triple Infernal, do they ever lose? I think you say 100% of the time, no, hell no.
But with Sona, that's always a wrinkle where you give it a
right?
chance.
Yeah.
And then with the play here, I think SANDBOX has been very surprisingly not coordinated this series. Just like when we saw Ghost on the blue buff while they hard engage. Got to buy time for Ghost to lifesteal back up. He was poked out by Kuzan. Kuzan has been the MVP of this game, in my opinion, poking around, getting so much harassing. He's been the annoying mosquito that has distracted SANDBOX in this like great swaths of 25 minutes where it felt like they should be able to win the game.
The thing that I think is even better about what Kuzan did was the fact that he got delivered the first 2 kills of the game and then did exactly what he needed to with that added power that was given to him. So SANDBOX will now turn around the push here in the mid lane as that Baron has worn off. They're able to now get some inroads here towards top side of the map.
Ruler's hit level 16.
Yeah, he's got a really cool cup as well.
He's got his CDR cap, and remember, he has his internal CDR on top. So now you're basically God as Sona. It's so hard to beat a level 16 Sona. We cannot count out 3 Infernal Vlad Azir, but you want to, because it feels like we can count out SANDBOX Gaming in game number 1.
Just wondering when Gen.G are going to pull that trigger. It feels like SANDBOX have a lot of tools, but they're just not going to be relevant.
But then they also have pretty weird builds for 35 minutes in, 58,000 gold. 3 items normal on Ghost. It had to be delayed because of the Hex Drinker, but if you notice, a hodgepodge of support items with no completed items.
Yeah,
for Joker, compared to Deathcap, Seraphs, Extra Shield, and also Knight's Vow. So like the synergy between the Tahm Kench Sona is unreal. And meanwhile, Joker's kind of just been cribbing together what he can. Is an engage attempt.
Yeah, we may have found it, as that's going to be the dash away. Oh, Hemoplague is already down, but the Devour from Life. He goes into the stasis, but he has his mid layer die in his belly. And have we found it? Have we found the team fight? His life takes so long to go down. Ghost picked on the backside is now Ruler, speeding everyone up, but SANDBOX should still be able to grab this Baron. Peanut, can he do it? He's had steals like this before. But this one's going to have to be a miracle. Trying to get over this wall. Ruler still poking. Dub taking a lot of damage.
Well, does a lot of poke damage. Can they turn? They hit the stun.
Yep, they're going to land it here as Peanut dives into the back of the pit. He's now trying to solo this Baron out by himself. The Sona's going to go down, but Peanut still in the pit. Steals it. What the heck? SANDBOX just let him kill the Baron.
Wow. This has been a game of steals, Atlas. He gets the steal, 1v4 basically, with no one there to be able to stop him.
Could the game still just be over? I mean, it was an ace on the side of SANDBOX. Can they just win the game?
Respawned. Life has respawned. I don't think so.
Oh my goodness. And the game will continue.
The Baron was at 3,000 health. Theoretically, they could have just put everything into Peanut, but I guess through GA they thought just by hook or by crook, the Baron will take damage, so in the end, they don't really make a decision. They're going to try and finish the game, like you say, but it should be 3 members strong.
Yep, Cannon Barrage is now available as well as Cubase's going to get devoured. That's the Impale. He'd already had the QSS. That's a 4-man Mimic Distortion, though, from Kuzan. Everyone's very, very low. SANDBOX are going to back away. They've broken open the base in the mid lane. And this game, this story ain't over just yet.
We're going to have to see the replay to fully understand that, Atlas. The Guardian Angel is the annoying wrinkle, though, because the Baron's alive for so long. We watched the replay. They're poking around. Kuzan has done this the entire game. To get caught by the sweeper and then ulted. And they actually get Kuzan out of the fight. Now, I'm not sure about the Devour decision here. I don't believe that redirects damage. So
no, it doesn't. So
I don't really understand.
Was always going to kill.
I don't really know what Life was doing in the front line. Ends up dying. Things happen. Love the re-engage by Pin. Killing Ghost here means the Baron's going to be slow, means the AD carry's dead, means the game is less likely to end. Perfect decision there. He comes in at 3,000 health, and you're in this weird choice where Zier's hitting things AoE. They're trying to kill him, but in the end, it just ends up being a Baron. You have to get him into stasis. You can't smite during that end and kill him, but by positioning, by mistakes, etc., he gets the Baron steal out of nowhere. The 2 steals this game was super unlikely.
Just the weirdest.
To add to our original meteorology talk, it was literally summer skies and the flash thunderstorms twice. Came out of nowhere. No one could have seen them. I accept your apology, Atlas. It's very hard to expect to even see that one coming.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just sometimes being a meteorologist is difficult. I grew up in Melbourne, Pub Smithy. It is known for having completely unpredictable weather. That's just how it works.
See, I'm from WA.
You expect,
we got regional beef going. We don't talk about the regional beef, and we don't have the Perth versus Melbourne thing going.
Yeah. I mean,
all we hear about...
I don't think that's a competition.
From our side, it is.
Oh, is it? Okay.
On the Perth side, we hear you guys have very nice coffee and that it rains every day here.
Hey, and we also have all of Australia's culture.
Hey, you're probably right.
All right, well, SANDBOX going to continue pushing in a turret now in trouble.
I mean, Vlad is decked out and then some. And while Baron buffs come and go, 3 Infernals do not. So there's still no guarantees about this game. We're going at 40 minutes.
Maybe we need triple Infernal Elder Drake for SANDBOX to win this game. Cannon Barrage is going to try and defend the turret, but it doesn't even manage that. Hemoplague is going to be traded in response. Kuzan dives forward. No Emperor's Divide used just yet from Dove. Peanut now on the flank. Prey Seeker comes in. Peanut's position is known. He'll take the tunnel, get himself out.
Genji don't chase very well. Their engage is pretty low. It needs to be fights around objectives or things that they are defending or in control of. The vision's away from them, and so it has to be base turrets. Summon's Hemoplague. About 50% CDR, probably about 25 seconds away from being back.
Yeah, Ruler just waiting for that opportunity, but doesn't have the crescendo available.
Last time.
Yeah. Okay, 3,000 gold still the lead for Gen G, but the pressure is now in the hands of SANDBOX. As this game goes on and on, remember the stats get higher and higher as everyone's approaching or has reached level 18, and so the Infernal Drakes are going to be doing even more.
And if you push me again to the question we've been asking since Champion Select, if they run at each other 5v5 in the late game, who wins? I truly believe it is SANDBOX, because in a true 5v5 where it's not LeBlanc pokes someone out to begin it, where it's very much an equal vision, I think they have the tools to negate Sona's insane extended team fighting by just bursting someone in an AoE and making that trivial. Yet, Kuzan has been great this game at poking around, caught the last time, but has been very reliable in doing things. There's no guarantee we get that 5v5, but if it does happen, I have to think that SANDBOX, even with their missed synergies and missed executions in the first 40 minutes, should be with the 3 Infernals ready to go. They have an ungodly amount of damage on everyone except Ghost, who only now is finishing his 5th item.
But where's the execution? He still has that Hex Drinker sitting there, and I just need Ghost to move to a Mortal Reminder.
I mean, Azir does apply it in an AoE decently, but I agree with you. You need a secondary source.
The Sand Soldiers, I don't think are going to have the range to really combat this by himself.
If you want a serious answer, after he didn't go for it earlier,
Joker almost explodes.
Kuzan's just looking for the support here. It's back to Season 3. Faker's assassinating Enchanter supports. But because he didn't go Execute Calling early, he was sitting on Hex Drinker and QSS for a long time. He actually ran out of item space to get executions at a normal time, and then awkwardly didn't have gold values. His build is very delayed.
Well, Ruler was looking for that Lich Bane proc, but the backdoor bonus is going to be too good. Cubase is going to get slowed down. The Impale comes in. On Fleek able to take down the top laner very easily, and now Dove wants the rest of this fight. Life very, very fast. Able to get out. It's Kuzan. Does have the distortion. On Fleek still hunting, still so fast on the Skarner, but that is one pick going to SANDBOX, not too much more. Another crescendo comes in, but it's Ghost that grabs it, and instantly the engage comes down. The Sona is going to explode, and I think SANDBOX have done it. I think they found themselves the fight. The Baron's up in 10 seconds, but we may as well just try and win this game. Dove goes into his stopwatch, but the damage has been done as Ghost is snapped away by Kuzan.
Ghost went full Captain Jack on that awesome frontline play, echoing bang over on the LCS this week, but him going down always muddies thing. No AD carry, but with this many members, with no Sona, with only LeBlanc and Tahm Kench, I think SANDBOX can close it here.
Well, they're looking to do it. Remember, this is the last. No super creeps. The inhibitor has respawned once again. Life is down here. Kuzan's made his way in. 4 seconds until Cannon Barrage. On Fleek's very fast with that Tongue Lash was fantastic. Redemption comes in. Decent damage, actually, as the Grey Health is going to be consumed. Cannon Barrage in a decent position, but not quite decent enough as Cube might just explode, and he does. Dove able to take down that kill, and everyone is eviscerated. SANDBOX with their 3 Infernal Drakes able to take down the Nexus and win game 1, but good God, was it messy.
SANDBOX got over the line by hook or by crook, by whatever they could do, but the mis-execution from them early was what allowed this game to be such a comfortable farm fest for both teams for so long.
And Gen G just lost this game with a 200 gold lead.
Don't you worry, we were using a lot of cool words instead of analyzing for a lot of it, because the game unfortunately went in a weird spot. See some of the gold hijinks here. Big damage numbers, but yeah, at the end of the day, SANDBOX Gaming just about got over the line in a really extended 43-minute game.
And I wonder who's going to get the MVP. I mean, I know who I voted for, but I'm still not entirely sure whether it was the correct choice. It's sort of one of these games where I was considering MVPs on Gen G's side as the game was continuing.
Cuvée was kind of poking with his barrels again. I feel like it's the second time that happened. He just failed the interaction pretty hard.
Live just, he gobbled a minion.
That is some extra insight. Whoopsie.
We're not giving the MVP to Life.
No.
Not in this one.
Life sucked a little bit in that game, but the player himself was, you know, having a decent one, but unfortunately...
Sometimes in life, you eat the wrong things and you get punished for it.
You have great days, you got bad days. That's just life.
Yep. Sometimes you just really like cheese, but you're lactose intolerant. It's a little bit of the awkwardness, but we are going to wait a little bit longer. We're going to get some sweet highlights, so... We get to talk about that game and ruminate a little bit more on what this sort of means for the rest of the series. Because now,
looks good on camera.
Talking about the important things, Papa's beard.
I don't really want to talk about that game anymore. I want a new game with cool things to talk about in the new game.
Well, let's talk about Teamfight Tactics. Ooh. Oh wait, not that kind of new game.
Almost released.
Yeah, yeah, very exciting.
Oh my god, we have a teleport war on Teamfight Tactics
Dude, it's already out in Oceania. Got it 1 day early. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Time to reinstall that client, my dude.
Ooh, Oceanic client?
Yeah.
Does it turn the other way?
Papa, you were on the dang client. You were a professional player on that client. Actually, no, you weren't. You're on the NA client. It wasn't released just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of game number 1. But don't worry, it's a best-of-3 series. We've got a potential 2 more. As Papa's spinning the wrong way, we'll see whether we can spin back after the break.